I was at this lecture, and there were 300 abductees there. That some who he'd interviewed with, some he had not, but who were there for interested to find out about more about their experience. And one guy got up and said he had one arm, and I don't know whether that was related. I don't think it was related to the experience, but he said, "I'm a Wall Street broker. I'm quite well off. I have a sailboat. I was in Long Island Sound a few years ago, and a blue light hit me, and I had missing time of about 5 or 6 hours. But in it, I have filtrated memories of beings addressing me and telling me that I was powerful and influential and I could help the planet survive. And they put me back in my ship, and I woke up, and he said, I'm waiting for them to come back. I want them to come back."
As if things ain't fucked up enough, look at this motherfucker right here. Look at him in Peru. They got him on camera.
Yo, what the actual fuck? That there is an alien.
Mr. 76 signing out.
President Kennedy was because he was going to release information on this. It's a burned document that was found, I want to say like 6 or 7 years ago, and it talked about buildings being on the dark side of the moon. He was in the Navy. He had a top security clearance. He was going to be handling video and film that came back from combat missions. And he goes, he got brought into a room one day. He said, the guy said, "Stay here, wait right here, I'll be right back." And he goes, so I'm standing in this dark room where they're developing the film, and the guy says, "Hey man, you want to see something really cool? Come over here." So he's like, "Oh, okay." So he goes, "I go over there and check it out." And he starts showing me buildings on the dark side of the moon. And he said to me, "These aren't ours." 40 different creatures that were coming here, 40 different aliens or 40 different terrestrials, ETs that were coming here. One of the former prime ministers of England said the US has been dealing with a group called the Tall Whites for like the last 15 or 20 years. The Tall Whites were a group of very Nordic looking extraterrestrials, very tall, light hair, just very, very big. There was some talk that in the early 30s that there was a guy, his name was Thor, and he was a tall white, and he was working within the Senate and Congress. You know, UFOs were as real as planes that fly over your house. I mean, he said, there's no denying it, they're there. You know, we know they're there.
At a routine traffic stop, this dash camera footage captured something strange. We see the officer talking to the driver of the car, when suddenly a large glow of light surrounds him. The light only engulfs him, and then he suddenly vanishes, leaving a cloud of smoke and dust behind. The driver of the car starts to panic and delays for a minute before they speed off in terror. Many say this was an extraterrestrial event caught on camera. What do you think?
Creepy videos found on the internet.
Go away! Go away! What do you want me? No! Go away! No more! Go away! Go away! I'm kidding! Go away! Leave us alone! Leave us alone! Leave us alone! Zina! We are not scared! Mom, what is this? Huh? What is this? Mom! Mom! Nothing, Jakub! Mom! Mama! What, Jakub? What? There's someone standing! There is no one, Jakub! Oh my God! Jakub, I said you need to finish your game now. It was already 1 hour, you just playing.
Just 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
Not 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
No.
Morning you are going to school, I said no. 5 minutes.
No.
And you will off the game? No. I said 10 minutes.
My mom always like saying, I'm doing top there.
What is wrong?
You know what I noticed about the industry, bro? Anytime somebody exposed them, they don't go get that person right away. You know what I'm saying? They wait years, you know what I'm saying? So when they do something to them, nobody suspect it was them. Let's talk about Crazy Bone for a minute, you feel me? So, do y'all remember like 3 years ago when Crazy Bone had exposed the industry and he basically was talking about how all these record labels, you know what I'm saying, invest in private prisons. So pretty much their main goal is to get us to go to prison. They're paying the artists to influence us to try to live like them. That's why a lot of artists don't come out saying, oh, I went to school to get where I'm at now. You feel me? All these artists act like they came from the streets. That's why a lot of these old school artists from back in the day, that's why I listen to a lot of old school music, because a lot of these old school artists, they weren't with it. And that's why they barely drop music now. They're only giving big deals to artists that's agreeing to destroy the black community. Think about all these new artists and what they promoting. At this meeting that Crazy Bone was talking about, guess what? There wasn't no country artists there, and that's why I say the black community. You feel me? They know exactly what they're doing. Watch the video though.
Music business has invested millions of dollars in the private prison system. Somebody sent me an article, like I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Right.
But it's actually a letter that was written by somebody that was a decision maker at a major label. You know, he was invited to a very special meeting about the future of hip hop back in 1991. And the title of the letter is The Secret Meeting That Changed Rap Music and Destroyed a Generation. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not just playing.
Look, that black van.
So I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Great.
The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were there,
right.
Most of them familiar faces. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. And consequences were stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Dang.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. My industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, Is this a fucking joke? At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague who opened up the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go. It's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it. But they're going to go beyond the artist to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yes.
They're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists.
Yeah.
So
she became famous because she claimed aliens were basically like showing up and abducting her and stuff, right? Then eventually her kid got abducted by aliens, or so that's the case, and they accused her of like killing the kid or whatever it may be. Like, obviously nobody believes that this woman's son was abducted, her daughter was abducted by aliens. It's a movie about this case, but they splice in real footage of her therapy session she had to go to, that she was going to while she was being abducted each night. And they do this, I don't really know how to describe it, this deep meditative state that makes you recall your dreams. And she's like describing all the things that were happening to her, these aliens. She starts screaming, she starts like levitating up from the couch a little bit. Like it's creepy as shit. It's a really good movie.
That voice speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history. You can go into any Sumerian exhibit and see etchings and sculptures of men in spacesuits and oxygen masks, rockets that look like Apollo.
There was more fear in his eyes than I've ever seen in my life.
What's wrong?
There are more missing people in Nome than any other town in Alaska.
I have to get this out of my head because it's stuck in there and I can't think straight.
We gotta send backup.
What'd you see? You were there.
I can't explain it.
Someone or something came into my room. And it took me away.
Creepy videos found on the internet. Watch until the end.
Oh, what the fuck? Baby, what took you so long to answer? Dude, the house smells like literally like rotten eggs. Like, it literally smells like you forgot to take the trash out or something. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with the shit. Like, I'm literally feel like I'm about to I was just taking a nap and the house smells disgusting. Yeah, I'll open the door. I don't know if that's gonna do much though. The door's open. I don't know. I need a fan or something. You need to get home and like air, like do something in here. Did you take the trash out?
What the fuck, baby? The lights are fucking flickering now, dude. Baby, stop! What the fuck? Baby!
Some of y'all know, on my side time and my hobbies, I infiltrate the motherfucking Illuminati. Find out information, then run back here to y'all, tell y'all what the fuck's going on. They don't like it, but it's the way it is. So I bring you the next crop of things that's either gonna hit you, bam, or it's not gonna matter. Don't worry, there's enough. So I be just trying to figure out the mysteries I wanna know. Like my whole life I wanted to know, why is it that McDonald's make better fries than any other group of people in the whole goddamn planet? How the fuck is that possible? It's just potatoes and grease, bitch. How the fuck? So I went to go get to the bottom. Run back, bring it to y'all. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. The reason you can't make no motherfucking fried potatoes like McDonald's is because the motherfucking potatoes that McDonald's is using, you ain't never seen these goddamn potatoes a day in your life, bitch. They ain't never been in the stores. They ain't never been at the farmer's market. You can grow weed, but you can't grow these potatoes. Ain't no seeds. These is McDonald's potatoes, bitch. They big as fuck. They 5'5" like me. All the McDonald's potatoes big as shit. Carry one at a time. All potatoes in the world is brown on the outside and white on the inside. Not McDonald's potatoes. McDonald's motherfucking potatoes is white on the inside and white on the motherfucking outside, bitch. Even in the ground, they look like a light bulb just shining through the dirt. Yep. They put so much chemicals on the motherfucking field because can't shit touch it or it'll turn brown. They put so much poison it's gonna kill anything that touch it. A worm, a bird, a deer, a person, whoever the fuck around with Ronald McDonald's motherfucking fries is gonna die, bitch, in that field. It's so much toxic shit on the potato. When they harvest the potato, they gotta put it in a locked building for 3.5 weeks before it's even safe to wash it down for the first time. And they're delicious.